You're just moments away from a brand new episode of WTF Nations Radio's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by the dynamic duo CQ and Radar. Pop Culture Warrior is your number one source for all things entertainment. If it's happening in TV, movies, video games, or comedy, they're all over it. And don't forget to say hi in the comments below. And while you're at it, let the boys know what you think and what you'd like to hear them talk about. Now strap in and get comfortable, because you're in for one hell of a ride. This is Pop Culture Warrior. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome, one and all. Today is September the 21st, 2021. This is episode 73 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ. I am the Pop Culture Warrior. And with me, as always, is, he's one of my very good friends. That's a pun that'll make sense later. He's the man in the bubble, the voice of the unpop cultured. Everybody, welcome, Mr. Radar.
Wait, never mind. Wrong part of the show.
Bye, Radar. How you doing, buddy? Welcome.
Good, man. How are you?
Welcome to Tuesday. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good.
It is a Tuesday, isn't it?
It is a Tuesday. It is indeed a Tuesday. Quick hello to everybody that's already sitting there hanging with us. Heath, Doc, Captain Wayne, Jacob, Joey, Thomas, Doug, Brian, Mike, Pete. What is up, all of you guys? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm very excited about this episode of the show. Lots to talk about. There's things happening, man. There's things happen. But before I get into that, we do have coming up in the second hour, our interview hour, a very special guest, actress Lauren Tom. And while the name might not ring a lot of bells for people, you might, if you ever watched Friends, you would remember as Julie Ross's girlfriend from season 2, the foil to Rachel, the reason that it took them 7-8 episodes to finally hook up in the second season. The girl that everyone loves to hate. That's Lauren Tom. And the really cool thing is that while she's very known for that, and she's done a number of movies and TV shows and whatnot, a lot of people don't realize that she's this incredible voice actress that has voiced, I mean, iconic characters through the years. Amy from Futurama, Connie and Min from King of the Hill. She's Gizmo and Jinx on Teen Titans, Teen Titans Go. She was Dana, Terry McGinnis's girlfriend in Batman Beyond. I was like, she did like 127 episodes. So she's incredibly accomplished actress. I think she has like 200 something credits under her name, which is ridiculous. So I'm very excited to chat with her tonight with you guys. And as always, we'll be taking your questions and anything you want to know. Real quick plug, and something, I was actually chatting with her before the show, that she does want to kind of promote that she's doing this fundraiser for an organization called Homeboy Industries. And Homeboy Industries is the largest gang rehabilitation and re-entry program in the world. It's been doing it for over 30 years. They've stood as a beacon of hope in Los Angeles to provide training and support to formerly gang-involved and previously incarcerated people, allowing them to redirect their lives and become contributing members of the community. So she's doing a fundraiser. My boy Radar is going to be pinning it up in the chats so that you guys can click on it, check it out. She is accepting donations for the fundraiser, and she's doing, I think it's like if you donate $60, she'll send you like a signed photo, and there's like options. You can pick which one you want, including there's one, now it's $100, but if you donate $100, there's a signed cast photo. She did one of the voices for Ghost of Tsushima, which was a huge PS exclusive game, PlayStation exclusive game, and she has signed photos of the whole cast. They signed the whole thing, and I think for $100 you can get one of those. So she's gonna be doing that. Now, as a Pop Culture Warrior exclusive to that, I want to add in, I want to incentivize you guys to go and contribute to this awesome cause. The person tonight, sorry if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, or if you're watching this or listening to this podcast later, but tonight, the person that donates the most, the biggest contribution, and sends proof, obviously you can message the page, or you can, hit me up on DMs, whatever, show me proof that you donated. The person that donates the most, I'm going to build a custom prize box for. So on top of whatever you get from her from donating, I will also kick in a special prize package with, and you guys know when I put out boxes, I mean, you get some stuff. You get some stuff. You get your worth. So I will also be putting in. Are you? Is that you, Radar, picking up your phone and getting ready to donate?
Yes, I am actually. I'm donating the shit out of this right now. I am also took a picture or something.
Yeah, please donate a lot so that way I don't have to send anything. But yes, I will announce who. Probably tomorrow. I'll give you guys time to donate and screenshot me the whatever the receipt or the thing that shows up that you did it. And the person that donates the most will 100% get a cool prize package from me, as well as the things that she throws at you. Yes. And yes, Maria, yeah, she did do the voice of number 3 on Codename Kids Next Door. That is correct. Definitely correct. So it's an awesome organization. She's doing an awesome fundraiser. I'm excited to help her promote it and raise funds for it. So that's that. We'll talk more with her in the second hour. But Radar, you want to talk about Marvel's What If, the last episode?
Maybe. You know what I want to talk about right now?
What do you want to talk about?
How come I can't fucking put any comments on the thing? I did the post.
Okay.
Right? I posted for Lauren.
Yeah.
I shared that link.
Yep.
And now I can't discuss anything in the chats.
That's strange.
It is strange. It's really weird.
Yeah,
So,
I see you put it up.
Yeah, I put that up, and then now it won't let me do anything. Don't let me do anything under my name or radar or the radio name.
Mm.
Can't do any of it.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's out of my control.
I feel bad because Captain Wayne was saying how his dad passed or his stepdad passed away, and I was trying to give my condolences.
Oh,
and I
condolences.
So I'm sorry, sir, that your stepdad passed away.
Captain Wayne,
really
yes,
sucked.
yes, I missed that message. I apologize. I was probably reading off my own script, but no, condolences. Losing a loved one always sucks.
It does suck, and I'm sorry for you, sir.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's bad. I actually had a coworker of mine just lose his stepdad. I think it was his dad or stepdad, but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So condolences, and hopefully we can be here to lift your spirits. That's what I was hoping for. So, Marvel's What If? You catch the last episode?
I did. And again, fucking Tony Stark is never ever going to survive. Ever.
You can't.
Spoiler alert: he dies.
Hold on, damn it! I gotta. Where's my spoiler alert button? You didn't give me a chance. Yeah. So spoiler alert: in the episode, Tony dies. So basically, for those that didn't see, the whole episode is around the idea of what if Tony Stark didn't become Iron Man, right? He didn't have that incident that caused him to become Iron Man. Instead, he was saved by a very familiar face, Killmonger, who just happened to be wandering, I guess, the Afghan desert at the time. And then basically, you know, Tony and Killmonger become friends. And hey, I see your comment.
Yeah, they're just one.
Oh, yeah, that's strange. Maybe too many people are trying to use the account at the same time. I don't know.
No, it's my radar account.
Oh, well then I have no idea.
My radar account and the WTF Nation radio account. I can't use either one.
That's that's the problem.
Weird.
So Captain Wayne, yes, he'd become Batman. Yeah, basically that's what, you know, without the metal suit, he becomes Batman. But yeah, so moral of the story, you know, obviously Killmonger, we know he has his own agenda. He does his own things to get his own way in a very, very roundabout way. But I guess at least this way, he really does become, you know, he's accepted to the Black Panther, you know, society. It's such a strange thing that, like, how the events take place, because it really changes the direction of kind of how the MCU went, because of without Iron Man, all these other things didn't happen, and so he ends up at Wakanda, and the whole thing. The drones become a thing, and it's a whole thing. Anyway,
it's very here's okay. The last two now haven't really given a definitive ending though.
Yeah, it's a, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna go back to my point. I've brought it up every week. They're building to something, and the fact that they're not putting a bookend on these episodes, there's a reason why. There's a reason. Something's going to happen, and I don't even think it's gonna be in like tonight's episode. Something's going to happen, and Jim, no, not Alt F4. No, we're not doing that.
Is that the one that makes the penis come out?
No, Alt F4 is gonna. Anyway, just don't do it. So anyway, my point is, it's we're leading to something. It's going to be this. I'm telling you, the Watcher's gonna get involved. He's gonna start plucking all these people out of the episodes. Captain Carter, you know, Strange Supreme, all these different characters. Somebody in the zombie universe, I guess Spider-Man was really the only guy left alive, and like all these different characters, and then they're gonna battle some super threat as a threat to the existence of the multiverse, and that's gonna be his little multiversal Avengers that he put together. And so I do think Killmonger will be part of that team, as strange as that is. That's my theory. Now, as for what's coming up this week, I have it on good authority that the next episode, and again, I don't know why you would care, but here, let's spoilers if you don't want to know what the next episode's theme is going to be. The next episode is going to be, what if Thor was raised as an only child? So instead of Odin bringing back Loki and making him one of his kids, I don't know if he just kills him or returns him or donates him. I don't know what he does. But whatever reason, Loki doesn't become one of Odin's kids. Thor is raised as an only child, and spoiler alert, he's gonna be very different. He's gonna be much more of a party hardy guy because without Loki's influence, he's unchecked, right? And then he goes on and he like does all these things and he goes on to be, you know, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna play this up. Hey Tim, what's up, man? I don't know if how they're gonna play this up, but I'm very interested to see how Party Thor, um, you know, because we know the whole reason Thor got humbled was because Loki pressured him into fighting the Frost Giants, and then that's when Thor gets punished and sent to Earth and humbled and all this stuff. So without Loki's bad influence to push him to do those things, he's kind of just left unchecked and just, you know, is this amazing guy, but also like a huge partier apparently, because it's like everybody's nicknaming him Party Thor. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah. Okay. Joe says, reading his chat, Joe, they might fight that Cthulhu-looking monster from the first episode of What If. Yeah, he seems to be popping up awful lot because he popped up there. He also popped up in the Doctor Strange episode, so that could be something. I do know that there's an episode coming with like What If Ultron won, in that like he became like he got the vision body, which is what he wanted. He wanted to transfer his consciousness into the vision body. So using that with the stone, he then like somehow collects all the other stones and becomes this weird Ultron Vision Infinity guy because he gets all the stones and like puts them all in his head and shit. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. I think that's going to be the ultimate bad guy because if you think about it, you have the evil of Ultron with all the powers and invulnerability of Vision, and then give that guy all 6 Infinity Stones. I think that's the ultimate evil. I think that's more and more likely what would be enough for them to have to like battle everybody. So I don't know. Thoughts. Ultimate evil.
Maybe. What if it's like a Civil War kind of setup too?
It could be, but between who?
I don't know. Name them. Pick a side, dude. Pick a handful of characters.
Yeah.
And fucking toss them together. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Okay, maybe fucking Crazy Strange figures out a way to get out of his little bubble,
jump into someone else's timeline or reality,
or somehow like that, and enlist fucking Bucky because Bucky's sad he had to kill Cap, and you know what I mean. They could do just about anything they wanted with it.
I mean, it's
right?
possible. It's definitely possible.
Here's the other thing too that I mean, because right now we know that he who remains is not he who remains. He is, but he's not.
He who was who remained.
He who remained.
He is who was who remained.
and he was introduced in Loki, right? He wasn't introduced in post-credit scene, like how they did with Thor, or not with Thor, well with Thor too, I guess, but
Loki.
with fucking Thanos, right? They kind of introduced him slowly through post-credit scenes and like all the other things, right?
Sure, the lead up to, yeah.
Yes. Well, with this one, they kind of dropped Kang on us. Here you go. Here's this new guy. Bye. See ya.
Well, again, technically they didn't. He's a precursor. He's a what if. He's a soon to be. And we haven't seen Kang yet.
Anyway, back to the story.
Okay. Right.
Maybe here, as they're using these Disney Plus shows to kind of really tie them into the multiverse and tie them into, because there's going to be an infinite number of Kangs, right?
That's the idea.
I mean, why not have fucking What If Kang? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that would really tie into the several different multiverses coming together for one shindig.
The only logical counter to that I see why they wouldn't do that is because we know in the MCU proper, the live action MCU, we'll call it, that they want to build to Kang. So doing an animated version, especially so soon after Loki kind of teased about it, I think they want to build up more suspense. I don't think they're going to.
Here's the deal: you don't have to have it like you don't have to like have like this big Kang battle. He can just like bring them all together, and they all fucking show up and they're like, "Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?" Blah blah blah. Have like a show about that, how he brings them together, and then at the end of the series, it's all of them standing there in a circle or whatever, kind of a la Avengers, right? But instead, like, and then fucking Kang's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just have him there.
Yeah,
right?
interfering or kind of manipulating,
maybe
pulling
not-
strings.
Yep, it doesn't have to be the big coup de grace like of the battle,
Yeah.
like the lead up to the battle.
I do think that Kang, the way Kang operates is very much similar to how Loki operates, right? Loki is this manipulator. He's this behind the scenes string pulling, getting things his way or formulating plan. And then Kang's just like a fifth dimensional kind of version of that, where he's, can mess with time and things like that. Captain Wayne was talking about, he said, what about the Mandalorian? This is not the Mandalorian, the guy with the same name. You mean the Mandarin. Yes, from Shang-Chi, you were referring to the Mandarin, who's not the Mandarin in this universe. He's the Wing Wu, many things, but not the Mandarin. Not named after some chicken. Or no, not named after an orange. That's what he said. Not named after an orange. Yeah, I mean, they could. I don't know if the What If will pull from anything as recent as Shang-Chi, because it definitely seems like, to me, it seems like the What If is kind of like a nice reminiscent look back at the Marvel universe as it was, right? We've peaked at Doctor Strange, we've peaked at Iron Man, we've peaked at Avengers, we've peaked at Infinity War with Marvel Zombies. It's a nice look back and alternate events, and I think Shang-Chi's a little too recent, especially with that, that movie just came out and these episodes were like animated like a year and a half ago. So
right.
Yeah.
What about this though? What if he brings all the people together, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the people.
All the people.
All the important people, anyway.
Sure.
Fucking, the headless Ant-Man.
All the supers.
Yep. And then at the end, they're all standing there, and instead of Kang, it's X-Men. And fucking Wolverine does a shing. Civil War that, baby. Yo.
Well, there
Civil
was
War 2.
I mean, there was in the comic books, there was a whole series of Avengers versus X-Men. Like, that was a whole series. Avengers versus X-Men.
What if he turns them into plants and then they have to fight the zombies? Marvel Plants v Zombies.
Oh God! Like, that's one. I feel like let's go back to the zombie episode. I feel like there was such a chance for that quip from Spider-Man. Like, they're like, why are you so good at this? And he whips out like, well, I played a lot of Plants vs. Zombies or something like that. Like, that would have been just such a good line for him to throw out there. And I wonder if, like, trademarking, they probably can't do it because it's not owned. One of the few things not owned by Disney. So, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It could be fun. They could do a lot of fun things with that, dude. But okay, we're all thinking they're going to introduce mutants at some point soon.
I mean,
right? Somebody was even
they're
thinking
going to. They're going to.
Right. But I'm just saying, like,
it's not going to happen anytime soon.
How mind blowing would it be
if they dropped it on us?
Or Mephisto. They all get together and they gotta fight.
Everything comes back to Mephisto and mutants with you, man. Oh God, I love it. I love it. You know what? Here's the thing. Quantity over quality. If you just keep saying it, eventually you'll be right. And then you can be like, see, told you.
Told you so. Yo, I was right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what if the Inhumans were the good guys? Yeah, what if
Silver Surfer voiced by Keanu Reeves. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Like, but he's gotta do it in like that Point Break kind of like accent. I'm the Silver Surfer, dude. Like, give me like a Bill and Ted version of the Silver Surfer. Like, I'm totally here to see if you're worthy to be eaten by Galactus.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, Galactus.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming. I don't think because What If is a look backwards. I don't think we're gonna see anything that is technically current or future. Like, we're not gonna see Eternals references or other like.
Yeah.
I think it's a look back at Marvel. So I think the most recent thing.
What if it's like, what if, okay, go back to this quote unquote Civil War mentality,
Mhm.
right? Or a big battle scene. What if it's like kind of like the Spider-Man thing where all the villains kind of come out together? What if it's like that? You know what I mean? Where like Red Skull's there and like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like a bunch of different
So
fucking
there
villains.
was a great storyline that was done in like the 80s, and then it was done in like I think the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s, where it was basically like Secret Wars. And
Yeah,
the
someone
I
asked about Secret Wars earlier.
yeah, the idea being that
Secret Invasion.
it was this well, Secret Invasion is the Scrolls thing, and that's coming.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a
yeah,
Disney Plus
that's
show.
coming
That's
too.
coming. But
That's
Secret
like
Wars,
that's like next year, isn't it?
yeah, yep.
Yep.
And Secret Wars, in fact, I think they're filming it now. But Secret Wars was this thing where, and it's so out there, but like on a cosmic level, there was a chess match between these two, superhuman beings, two interdimensional beings, and they're like, well, who would win, heroes or villains? And they basically pulled the Earth's mightiest heroes and Earth's mightiest villains, and then put them basically on a battle world and said, let's see who wins. And that was kind of Secret Wars. And in the comic books, that's actually how the Venom symbiote even became.
That actually
Into a
wouldn't be
thing.
that wouldn't be a horrible aspect for this,
Yeah.
because I mean it's so out there and made up and all of the things.
Yeah.
What if we just had zombie Thanos and like regular Thanos, like arm wrestle,
I have a theory.
and then Wolverine comes in, fa-ching, and cuts the arms up with his
Wolverine.
thingy.
One
finger.
day we're gonna get to talk about X-Men. If this show goes on long enough, we'll get to talk about
Oh,
X-Men at some point.
anytime I can bring up X-Men, I'm going to.
Uh,
You call
sh-
Kevin Feige right now,
Yeah.
put him on this line.
Get
I'll
him on
give
the
him an
line.
earful.
Captain Wayne, yeah, She-Hulk is coming. She-Hulk, they're already filming the series. Tatiana Maslany has been cast to play She-Hulk. Mark Ruffalo will reprise his role as Bruce Banner. Tim Roth, who we saw the Abomination in Shang-Chi. He's going to be reprising, Abomination and his character, is it Emil Blonsky, in She-Hulk. So there's going to be a lot of returning people to the Hulk franchise and introducing a new She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's coming out like the beginning of next year, right?
Yep, yeah. So we're going to get...
Because next is Hawkeye.
Right, we get Hawkeye, that's coming. After that will be Miss Marvel, about the Indian girl who becomes, who's a super fan of Captain Marvel and becomes her own superhero. And then we know in the works is Moon Knight, which is currently filming.
Yes.
We know Blade. They just got a director, so Blade is going to become a series.
But She-Hulk is coming out before them, right?
Moon Knight's currently filming. She-Hulk hasn't started filming yet.
Oh, I thought She-Hulk just finished filming.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I could be out of touch. See, now you got me thinking, man. Anyway, but yeah, She-Hulk's coming, Moon Knight's coming, Blade, Miss Marvel. We know Secret Avenger or like Young Avengers. We know that's coming. They haven't announced it, but we totally know Young Avengers is coming. It's so obvious.
Well, yeah, they've kind of got
basically already like they've put all the Young Avengers out there already. They exist already. An Echo series is coming out. Echo is a character that'll be.
All it says is 2022. That's what we know about She-Hulk, and that's from IMDb.
Yeah.
So
Let's see
we
if they're
trust them, right?
Yes, IMDb is a good place to get your information from. Anyway, Gary, what if they elaborated on the Eternals? Elaborated how?
God, when is Eternals release date? That's coming up.
No,
pretty soon.
yeah, November 9th.
Yeah.
November 9th.
I'm in.
I'm excited.
I might actually go see that in the theater. So, okay, this is what we got going on here. Okay, at the radar camp.
Oh boy.
At FOB Radar. So, I drove by the theater today, and they are opening back up, but it's advanced purchase tickets only.
Okay.
So I don't know when that is going to work for like those big release. Something like the Eternals, I imagine, is going to be for around here. Dude, let's be honest. It's a fucking town of like 11,000 people.
Right.
Right. We're not a giant metropolis.
Yeah, sure.
So if we can, I don't know how many tickets are going to sell or whatever, but I am going to try to get tickets to go to.
We did it. We did it, everybody. A year of pushing. We finally gonna get Radar to go to a movie.
Well,
we did it. We
it
won.
hasn't really always been my choice now.
Hold on. I got something for this. Everybody, we did it.
Hey. But I'm just saying, dude, it hasn't always been my. There was a little thing that went around about a year ago that really kind of shut everything down. So
wait, I wanted to. Radar says I might actually go to the movie theaters for this. What? Record scratch. I got something for this, and then my reaction.
Surprise, motherfucker! What you do to my Wattis?
Sorry, I amuse myself. And Gary's the omnibuses on Secret Invasion. Yeah, man, it's been a while since I've gone back, and you can see some of my comic book boxes in there. There's like 2 of like the 20 I have. But yeah, no, we got to go back on that. So something else to pivot off of Marvel's What If. The first 3 episodes of Why the Last Man are currently available on Hulu. Jesus Christ, people, please go watch it. It is good. It is so good.
I haven't seen it.
If you read the comic books, it's largely the same. There's a couple subtle differences, and so far, I feel like the differences are for the better. I want to say so far. There are some differences, and you can obviously the story's gonna
look at this.
Sort off a little bit. What you got there, bud?
My beer's all frosty looking. See that? It's like a fucking Shinerbot commercial. It's great.
So Why the Last Man?
Little things.
Why the Last Man? A great series from like back in 2003. It ran for 60 issues. Phenomenal. What regarded as one of the best series out there. I mean, it's an incredible series, and I feel like they're doing justice with the show. And the fact that they're streaming it versus actually, because it was supposed to be on FX, and then they kind of like pivoted and went FXX on Hulu. And I feel like the reason was because it's pretty dark material. I mean, the whole thing is men all over the world suddenly die very violent deaths, like just like splurting blood. Like imagine if everything inside your head liquefied all at the same time and then just came out of all the orifices. Yeah. So I'm wondering if it was just a little too violent, or maybe the material was just a little too, what have you.
That's what happens when you get the coronavirus vaccine. I heard.
We're gonna get zucked if you start talking about COVID shit. Yeah, Gen 13. Jesus Christ, I haven't heard of I haven't thought about Gen 13 as a series for a long time. A long time. And speaking of series that are just off the wall, they're doing an animated Marvel Hit Monkey series. If you don't know Hit Monkey, I will.
The Trunk Monkey?
Hit Monkey. Hit.
Not Trunk Monkey.
Not Drunk Monkey. Hit Monkey.
No, not drunk. Trunk, like at the back of a car.
Not Trunk Monkey. Hit Monkey.
That's funny. Trunk Monkey's funny.
And by Hit Monkey, it's literally, it's Hitman Monkey. Hit Monkey. So it's a monkey that carries out assassinations in like a little suit and speaks to a ghost, and it's as crazy as it sounds. Yeah, you wanna look. Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's such a violent thing that even Marvel was kind of like trying, like, because it's obviously it's a Marvel property, but like they're releasing it, but they're kind of like, I mean, it's not really what we're trying to do. Like, it's like they're trying to pretend like it's Marvel, but like not like Marvel. It's like, it's like Marvel. They're just pushing it to the side, like it's its own thing. But
they actually could, because this is my understanding of the comic books, is there are some kind of shorter kind of shit like this Trunk Monkey thing you're talking about, right?
Hit Monkey, yes.
They could actually, that actually might be kind of neat if they would do something like a one-off, just hour-long, like what if episode kind of these different little comic book
Yeah.
sections like
So
that. That'd
not
be kind
doing
of neat.
necessarily the
A
Marvel
whole
universe as
series.
we remember it, but
Mhm.
other things happening in other parts of the universe that have nothing to do with the MCU canon.
Right. Well, and they could make it canon, and maybe in one of the movies,
Hit Monkey shows up.
Hit Monkey shows up in, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Young Adventures, whatever.
I mean, Young Avengers versus Hit Monkey. I'm ready for it. Okay, so a couple things.
He could be like the Winter Soldier times 2. Winter Soldier 2.0 is actually a monkey with the super soldier serum, and they can control him.
Yes, yes.
And he's got to fight Bucky.
You're really on a hot streak with Bucky today, man.
I do.
You're feeling
I've
it today.
always, I like Bucky though. I really do. I feel for him. I feel like he's kind of like
He's broken, and I can fix him.
No, I don't care about anything. He's fine. No, but I really, he's always kind of the sidekick.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't really have his own. Even in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he was just.
But if you
kind of
know
like,
the character, that's who he was. He never wanted to be the leading man, the starting man. You know, he wasn't like he was a good soldier. He wanted to be part of the team, but he never wanted to be a leader. He
doesn't have to be like the leader, but I'm just saying I feel like he's kind of an underutilized character.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be perfect to battle the Super Soldier 2.0 Winter Soldier monkey.
Yeah. I don't know why I shouldn't have brought up the Hit Monkey. I shouldn't have brought it up. All right.
Where did you think it was going to go? You think it was going to go to good places? Like in my brain housing group? No.
Obviously not.
No.
Okay, so movie news. I guess we should do the
that funky monkey. Sorry.
movie news. Just gonna make you go away. My
radar.
Bye radar. There we go. So some good news, some bad news. Ready? Good news, surprisingly, is the Venom Let There Be Carnage date has moved again. Now, why did I say that's good news? They've moved it forward.
Wow.
And at this point, they're just playing shuffleboard with dates nowadays. But yes, so what was supposed to be released most recently, October 15th, is now being pushed up, and it's basically right around the corner, October 1st. And Maria, I see you want to see Lara and Tom, and she's coming up very soon. Less than 20 minutes, probably-ish. 20 minutes. And you'll see Lauren, she'll be on. But yeah, so Venom, Let There Be Carnage moved up from October 15th to October 1st. Now, early reactions online, some people have seen the film. There are some spoilers out there. I'm not going to talk about them here because I don't like to do spoilers. People are saying stay to the end credits. You want to see the end credits because some stuff happens there. But they're saying the movie's good. And honestly, I gotta say I'm a little surprised because while the first one was okay, and I'm a huge Venom. I do not knock Venom. Look, I'm a huge Venom fan. All right, long before the movies. And the first one was okay. I felt like it could have been better. They took some interesting choices. They had to because it was Sony doing it versus Marvel doing it, but whatever. And when they announced the sequel, I thought, okay, for sure, with Carnage coming into the mix, they got to go R-rated. They got to, right? We've seen R-rated movies be successful, right, with Deadpool and whatnot. And as gnarly as Venom is, Carnage is supposed to be cranked up to 12 past that. You know what I mean? Like, he's supposed to be just hell incarnate. A serial killer with the powers of Venom, basically. So the fact that they said, nope, it's going to be PG-13 made me kind of go, meh. Not too happy about it. But if the early indications are anything, people are saying the movie's really good. That the acting is awesome, the special effects are on point, the story is great. Oh boy.
They took my advice.
They brought in the X-Men?
No, make it good. Make it good.
Mephisto was in it.
Mephisto and the X-Men.
And the X-Men make appearances.
Lined up.
Spoiler alert: the X-Men and Mephisto in the end credits. No, yeah. Apparently, if early indication is to be believed, they made it good.
That's all I need to do, man. Make it good.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Hey, oh, Gary, I just saw Gary's comment. You like? Oh, you you get the bobblehead. Yeah, man. For those that don't know, this is our friend Marty. Don't ask why.
Or do.
Either
way.
This is Marty. He is our mascot here. He's our bobblehead, which if you notice, actually, his head actually bobbles just a bit. He has a little wiggle to it. Anyway, this friend of mine made this digitally for us. There is no physical one in existence yet.
Not for lack of trying.
Yet. One day, we're going to make it happen. One day. Funko, hit me up. Hit your boy up. One day. So, anyway. So, yeah, that's just it's a prototype. It's a mock-up, if you will, to prove the concept that it would look very good. And they did a damn good job on it, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. So, in movie news, so we say, okay, so Venom date moved. So that's going to be October 1st. That's our next movie. That's our next Marvel/superhero movie. Eternals is still set for November 5th. Hasn't moved. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Shang-Chi proved that box office can make money. So Eternals ain't going nowhere. Now.
That's unfortunate, though.
About?
Well, I don't want to actually go to the theater. I want to watch it in my fucking underwear on my couch. Right?
Well, I mean,
let's be honest.
Okay,
when they released the numbers from Black Widow, they made plenty of money.
I mean, yes, when they split it between box office and streaming.
Yep.
That's true. Here's the issue, though. Here's the issue with that. Because you can say that they made comparable amount of money streaming and box office. If you put that together, it's comparable to a box office only release, right? The problem is that then later when it goes to streaming, those numbers are down.
Ish.
No, much more.
But here's the deal, though. Okay, no. But what I'm saying is, if I pay, what was it, $30 or whatever to watch Black Widow?
Sure.
Okay, when it comes out on regular ass Disney Plus, I don't pay anything extra than what I normally pay for my Disney Plus to watch it. Right?
Sure.
So,
but we're not just talking.
I've actually watched a couple times since it has come out.
Yep.
Because I bought it or whatever on thing, and I've watched it a couple times on there. And also, too, they're releasing it to Disney Plus much faster than I think they would have.
Right.
Given the other things, but
correct.
Just to regularize it. But I'm just saying, how many people already have the subscription? Okay, HBO. Okay. I had it on Amazon. Paid whatever money a month I paid. I don't even recall now. It was like $2 more to get HBO Max. They canceled my subscription on HBO or on Amazon because they split it, right? Because HBO wanted control of it or whatever, wants me to download their app on my television. Okay. It's like $2 more a month, right? So they canceled my Amazon, and this is Amazon wide. Okay. HBO said, nope, can't have the HBO Plus subscription on there or whatever. And so they canceled that, refunded me my money, in all fairness, and then said, if you want to continue watching this content, you have to download HBO Max. Guess who didn't download HBO Max? Because fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the principle of the thing. If I wanted the thing before, I would have done it. I don't. And $2 a month ain't a whole lot of. It's a whatever. But if that's, I don't know how many people. I think they were slated to lose like 13 million people had it on Amazon. That's a lot of money. That's $26 million if everyone did that, right? That $2, $2 a month times 13 million. That seems like a lot, though, doesn't it?
26 million. Rough infantry math. 26 million.
I'm just saying that's. But no, dude, I don't want another thing that I'm not going to watch. Like, I watch Disney Plus. I have Hulu. I don't watch it. I'm about ready to kank that. I watch Amazon Prime, and the channels that are on there have like the Disney Channel, or not Disney, Discovery is on there, and I have like Motor Trend and a couple other ones on there for different shows that I enjoy watching.
Mm.
And we have Netflix, and I barely watch Netflix. I'm actually about ready to cancel those Netflix and Hulu because I never watch them anymore. So
I'm going to create a little thing. Radar's soapbox. It's just going to be you going on rants. Radar's rants.
Yeah, Radar rant. Yes, I haven't Radar ranted in a long time.
Yes.
But why what is the push for that, do you think? Honestly.
So the idea being, and this is what was my point before you went on your rant, was that theater release should get all the money. That's how traditionally. Then they go to a streaming release, not streaming to Disney Plus. That's the last place it ends up. There would be a traditional streaming where you can do video on demand from like, you know, Xfinity and all that. So then that's a source of income. Then it would go to a physical release. So then you would get the sales from that. Then after all that's said and done, it would go to Disney Plus.
Okay.
So by releasing it streaming and box office, you cut the box office in half or even less than half.
But it was not, though. When you looked at the numbers on it, it was not that bad.
It was significantly less. I mean, it was significantly less than what they assumed it would or should make had it been box office only.
Okay.
That's the theory, at least. And you know, because think about it, let's say on average $12-13 per ticket, and yeah, you had to pay $30 to watch it at home. But let's be honest, most people maybe share their Disney Plus accounts, so you had 12, 20, 30 people even watching on a single Disney Plus account.
Yep.
That takes away what, $300-400 that could have been movie tickets sales,
right?
You know, so it was a lot. It was a lot. So now that they're
but okay, I think a lot, and this is not just you, right? You right now, but in general, right? I think you're looking at pre-coronavirus numbers, pre-coronavirus, and
that's a fair
especially
point.
with what's been going on in the last couple months, where everyone's like, "Oh, now everybody's got the Rona with the Delta variant and all this other bullshit," right? So, which has shut down a lot of the country again, or certain areas of it, or you know, has definitely has put people back on their heels a bit. So you're looking at the auspice that there are still going to be people who are willing to risk going. There are some that would risk it in the height of the coronavirus when everyone was dying from it, right? There are people who are cinephiles enough that would do that. Then there's a group of people in the middle who they feel safe and are willing to do that. And there are other people still who are like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or theaters that are still shut down because of the coronavirus. There was a lot of theaters that were shut down during the pandemic that have not reopened yet. So you're looking at in order to reach the small town markets, the more rural markets, which there are quite a bit of in this country, and you've got all these other people like, okay, Black Widow. I still would not have seen Black Widow had I not been able to purchase it on Disney Plus.
Obviously,
and I know other people who are in the same boat.
Sure.
Same reason I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet. Not that I don't want to see it.
Right.
And if it was an option for me to pay $30 to see it on Disney Plus, I would have given them my $30 to watch it on Disney Plus.
Understood.
And I'm kind of curious, like, there's a certain way they want to make their money, right? But at the end of the day, they want their wallet to be as full as possible. And what way makes their wallet as fat as possible? You know what I mean? And that, because I am either going to pay the $30 to watch it on Disney Plus early release, or I'm waiting for it to show up. Because why go see Shang-Chi now? We've talked about it. There's been enough spoilers and all things. I basically know what's going to happen in the movie without paying to watch the movie.
Sure.
Not saying I don't want to see it, and when it comes out on Disney Plus, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
It sounds, but it's not interesting enough for me to go spend $50 to go to the movie theater.
Yeah,
so sorry about it.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of people in that boat right now, and it kind of kind of sucks. And there's a lot of people kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
I agree with you. It's not an enviable position. I think there is no right answer, but I do think that they are pushing towards just movie releases from now on. Eternals not going anywhere. Shang-Chi didn't go anywhere, and I think that's kind of the future. So going back to what we were talking about, Venom moved up. Eternals still November 5th. Ghostbusters has been delayed a week for some reason. I don't know. It was originally supposed to be November 11th. It's now going to be November 19th. I don't know why they delayed it a week, but and unfortunately, one that I was actually looking forward to that's not really super related, but Top Gun Maverick, which was supposed to be November 19th, is now straight up not in 2021. They have moved it just indefinitely to 2022 somewhere. So it is what it is. What you need a show called Radar's Rants. That's what you need. That's what you need.
Yeah, I do. But okay, why do they keep pushing Top Gun back?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I had a good answer, because we see with Shang-Chi that money, there's money to be made there, and people are craving fresh new content, and I don't know. I feel like it was far enough out there that it was safe, but I don't know.
I think it depends on where you're at, man.
Sure.
I think it depends on where you're at, and like I said, I think a lot of it is too. Like, I know my theater here is just now kind of starting to warm up a little bit to being like, well, we'll let people in, I guess. You got to pre-order tickets, you got to do all kinds of shit like that. I don't know, man. It just seems like I said, here it just kind of seems like it's more of a pain in the ass than what it's worth.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And you got those little mom and pop. I mean, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna sanitize? They can't afford the big new blowers and ventilation systems and shit. And so are they gonna have a mask mandate for a movie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. All right.
I don't really care about mandates because I don't date men.
Oh, God damn it, Radar. God bless your simple heart.
What about Letterkenny? Fuck yeah, Letterkenny.
Bless your simple heart. All right, guys. So we're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we've got the incredible Lauren Tom going to be joining us for a fantastic conversation live with you all. If you have questions about Friends, question about movies she's been in, TV shows she's been in, voices she's done from King of the Hill and Futurama and Batman Beyond and was it Codename Kids and all these shows that she's been a part of, you guys can send them in. We will talk to her. We're going to ask her a bunch of stuff. You're going to get to learn so much more about her than you probably ever knew, and so much more. One last time, too, I'm going to plug, we have pinned in the comments a link to the fundraisers that she's doing to raise fund for Homeboy Industries, which is, we'll talk more about that too as well to promote that. But while we do a quick, there's a 5-minute break, go check out the link. Consider donating. Remember, the person that donates the most and sends me the proof, donates tonight, I will send him a sweet prize box of a bunch of fun pop culture goodies. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna toss the break. We're gonna bring back her, and when we come back, we'll have Lauren Tom. Radar, want to say bye, Radar?
Bye, Radar.
All right, guys. We'll see you after the break. Shots.
Bye for you.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
I stood there in that middle of church with a bottle of gin in my hand. I'm looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. My days turn to nights, my nights turn to weeks when you're living life on the road. I'm halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go. I said, tip 'em on back. let's tip 'em on back. I finally made it back to Bourbon Street, picking some of them old night bars, hoping I could find myself playing music on my guitar. Boy, the kid around, they all shouted out as the drinks began to flow. I pulled out that old guitar, then I showed them how to do-si-do. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. Church with a bottle of gin in my hand, looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. Days turn to nights, but nights turn to weeks when you live a life on the road. Halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go, I said tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Warrior. I am your host, CQ, and with me tonight, oh goodness, I'm so very excited. You guys know that I'm easily excitable, but I'm really excited for this one. My guest tonight is a wonderful actress who is a legit triple threat of stage, TV, and film, and that doesn't account for her writing pedigree as well. You might know her. She might best be known for her role as Julie on Friends, that she captured the attention of the fans worldwide, but I can guarantee you she's so much more than that. With nearly 40 years in the business and just about 200 credits to her name, she's done just about it all, including voicing some of our all-time favorite characters from King of the Hill, Batman Beyond, Teen Titans, Futurama, and so many more. Guys, it is with great appreciation for her time, I'm welcoming, please everybody give a warm welcome to Lauren Tom. Yay! Hold on.
Hello, everyone.
I have applause. There you go. There you go. You should. That's the crowd cheering for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on Pop Culture Warrior.
Oh, it's my pleasure and honor to be here, CQ. And can I just say right away, since I know that a lot of your audience are veterans, thank you for your service to you and to everyone listening right now. I feel like we Americans do not thank our veterans enough. We just can't thank them enough.
Oh, well.
And
on behalf of the audience, I thank you for appreciating us and goodness. And we always, it's always an uncomfortable thing. Like, thank you. I don't need thanks, but okay, thanks. So we're just going to move past that. We appreciate it. And before we really get into it, I want to one more time plug the fact that, you're coming on here of your own time and free will, and that, you asked to talk about the fundraiser you're doing for Homeboy Industries. For those that are just tuning in, Homeboy Industries is the largest gang rehabilitation and re-entry program in the world. It's been doing it for over 30 years. They've stood as a beacon of hope in Los Angeles to provide training and support to formerly gang-involved and previously incarcerated people, allowing them to redirect their lives and become contributing members of the community. Guys, we put in the chat, you can find it pinned. It's a link. It's to Lauren's fundraiser that she's doing right now, which is doing incredibly well, and we want to help get it even further. I told my listeners earlier that, obviously you kind of have a thing where, if you donate, I think it's $60, they get a signed thing, which is awesome. And I saw the Ghost of Tsushima one for 100, and I'm going to. We'll talk after that. I'm gonna pitch in for that because I think that's awesome. But I told the audience that whoever donates and donates the most during tonight, send me proof. I will send them a very, very lovely. You can see I have a lot of doodads and knickknacks and awesome things, and I love making prize boxes and giveaways for my audience. So this is an awesome opportunity. I was just thinking earlier today, man. Like I'm in the mood to give something away. So I have some really cool prizes that I want to box up and ship to somebody. Whoever donates the most money tonight will get a lovely prize box from me. So that's for me. Do you want to say anything about the organization?
Yes, and yeah, I'm going to throw in a signed photo of the person's choice. So you can see it when you click on the link. You'll see all the different photos I have available, and you just pick which one, and I'm going to throw that in too. And you know, even if the highest donator is only $30 or whatever, whoever does that is going to get this big, huge prize from CQ and I.
Yes, absolutely,
so,
absolutely. Oh,
it makes it more fun.
We can do better than 30. We can do better than 30. But
okay.
Yeah, I got you. So let's see. First off, can you say hi to Maria? Because she's been hanging around and just really excited for you to come on. She's a big number 3 fan.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Maria. Do you like rainbow monkeys as much as I do? Thank you so much for joining us.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I blew out.
No, you're absolutely fine. My earphone just fell out. Had nothing to do with you. But there you go, Maria. Yeah, she's awesome. She's been in the chats for like, when's Lauren coming on? Like, stop talking about all this other stuff.
Joining us.
So okay, so that's that. So everybody that knows, that tunes in and sees all these interviews I do, first question always out the gate is, what is your connection to the military?
Yes, so my very favorite uncle, James T. Dare, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. He fought in Vietnam. I can't really even talk about it because it makes me choke up. Sure. But he rose to the highest rank of any Asian soldier ever to that point. And I don't know about the history since then, but I was so proud of him. And just like you, extremely humble, like, didn't want people to be, putting him up as a hero, but he just had such a great sense of humor. And, he made it through all of that battle. And then he came home and unfortunately he passed away of a heart attack, really young, like 53. That's too young. Wow. So I really miss him. And so I try to honor him as much as I can. And so when I got this request from you and saw like who you are and who like what you're trying to do in the world, was to just try to lift people up.
Absolutely.
I thought, well, yeah, I'm in.
I'm honored and touched. Obviously that's an incredible service. My generation of warfighters really revere and look up to those guys, that the Vietnam guys, the Korean War guys, the people that didn't get the attaboys that we're getting, and those are our heroes. So just so you know, so your uncle is definitely one of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I did my research. Doesn't your uncle have like a statue or something honoring him in your hometown?
That's my other uncle.
That's your other uncle. Okay, I got my wires crossed.
Do research. That's my uncle on my father's side,
okay.
Who was a huge, like a kind of like a in the community. He did so much good that they made a park called Ping Tom Park in Chicago.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I kind of come from a long line of activists, and so it makes me very proud.
Absolutely. And you're continuing on the tradition. I see, it's very easy to see the amount of effort you put into charitable efforts, fundraisers, and doing things with your platform that, maybe you don't need to. It's not something that like you have to when you have this platform that you have to give back, but you take the time to do it, and I see that you do it very well.
You know what, CQ? It's kind of selfish, to be real honest with you, because I get so much joy out of doing this. That's why I keep doing it. It's sort of like, that saying about whenever you're really depressed or blue, the best thing you can do is just do something for someone else, even if it's really small. you know, because it's a way of getting out of yourself and being able to kind of contribute to the world. I feel like that's what we're all here for.
Oh man, it's so,
You
I'm
know?
sorry, I'm so touched. It's so crazy to me because obviously we've never talked before today, but something that I do try to mentor veterans in my community and different things. And one of the things we always talk about is when you're isolated, when you're depressed, when you feel like you're stuck in this bubble or this rut, the best thing you can do is be giving of yourself. Give outside of yourself. Homeless shelter.
That's correct.
Habitat
Yeah.
for Humanity. Take a painting
Yep.
class. I don't know, just anything
Yes.
to get
Yes.
you out of
Yes.
that. So it's so
I
great to
agree
hear you say that.
1,000%. And I wanted to just mention, I don't know if this will be interesting, to your listeners, but I think it was in the Washington Post. I just read an article about a lot of success that psychologists are having with people who have PSTD trauma with virtual reality therapy. Oh my gosh, that's mind blowing to me because I have two boys that are 17 and 20, and they love. We bought them one, and they just are in that a lot. And
Yeah.
it made a lot of sense to me. If you can go back and heal that go back in time and kind of like they can help recreate what happened and then heal it from that place.
Oh yeah,
It seems really exciting to me.
there's incredible strides in that whole kind of sector of healing and looking at it's like there's immersion therapy as one thing. There's actual reliving of the events where they can program. If let's say you were in an ID in a vehicle, they reprogram. You're sitting back in that vehicle and you can replay that moment and get through the trauma of
No.
it. Yeah, there's incredible things that
That's
they're doing
amazing.
in the space.
That's great.
It's
That's
really
great to hear.
cool. But anyway, nobody wants to hear about that.
Okay, sorry.
That's not what they ever. No, I love that you're so fascinated about it and interested in it because it's really is fascinating. So I'm gonna take a step back.
Okay.
I mean, I know. Again, I've done my research. So your grandparents immigrated from China. You grew up Catholic in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood in Highland Park, Illinois, which by the way, right there, you need to pitch a show because that's a show I would watch. Like it just sounds
Aw.
awesome. And so by your own accounts, you said you were super shy. That you put all the energy you had into dancing because
Right.
you couldn't act or sing. That's what your words.
Right. Right.
And then I read that like the summer you were 16, you worked as a dancer at Disney World. And I need to understand this. I mean, how do you become a dancer at Disney World at 16?
Well, Disney, I think Disney was having auditions, and they were looking around the country, and they needed some dancers to be dancing in front of the Magic Castle, and so they held auditions, and my mom took me, and I found out that I got it, so she came out to Orlando, Florida, with me, and stayed for the whole summer. It was so humid and so hot. I just remember sweating constantly, but that was my first job,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then the next summer I ended up doing a chorus line in that same way because they came through town and I auditioned. And funnily enough, I ended up getting my partner in when I was dancing in front of the Magic Castle. I ended up helping him get into a chorus line the following year after I joined. So that was kind of really a nice, full circle.
Yeah, because we're gonna one more request, Maria. This is the last one. She says, "Can you do number 3's crying voice, please?"
I don't remember it. Oh my gosh, Maria, I'm so sorry. I don't, it was so long ago that I would have to have like a voice reference because that's what we do when we record each, episode. If we haven't been there for like a couple weeks, they'll play it for us because I do so many different things I can't remember.
Yeah, you have to
So
get
my
like back in
crying
tune.
voice-
It's like you have to get back in tune with that voice. If I had a clip, I think she wrote it. It says "Wow." I don't know. That's what I'm reading.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was okay. You got 2. You're good. Thank you so much for playing along. So and really for everybody in the chats, if you guys have questions for Lauren, please send them in. I can see them. I will get to them as best as I can. but I'm gonna keep this show on the track so we can. Because listen, you have so much. You have so much. You know, I do this not. I wouldn't say as a living anymore, but I do this a lot, and I can easily scroll through an IMDb page and a Wikipedia page, and like get a sense of the work. My God, it just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. I was like, wow, you've done a lot. And I mean that in the best way possible. You have done so many incredible characters. So like I kind of wanted to just touch on a few of the highlights for the audience, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So okay, so we talked about you at 16 and 17. You did chorus line. That's kind of you ended up on Broadway. Leading from that. So I'm curious in that moment, before we go into the acting and before we go into all the other stuff, you're on Broadway. You're doing this chorus line. At that moment, do you remember if you saw yourself as like, okay, this is it. This is my future. I'm gonna be a Broadway person. I'm gonna be theatrical. Was that in that moment? Did you?
No, I always knew that it was going to be really tough for me to be a dancer on Broadway because normally they want chorus dancers, and you need to be 5'6", and I am 5 feet. I am such a shrimp. So I just knew that was going to be a really uphill battle for me. So the best advice I got when I was doing chorus line, and they were all so much older than me, like 10 to 12 years older, that they kind of took me under their wing and said, look, if you don't study acting, you're going to be done by the time you're 35, because being a dancer is like being an athlete. So invest in yourself. Yeah. And start taking acting lessons. So I completely followed that advice. And then I realized that acting was so much easier than dancing because, it doesn't hurt your knees, It's just, and I really loved it. So then I started to transition. I finally got the courage to leave chorus line because it was hard, with a steady job like that. And my mind was so blown. Like I felt like, the heavens had opened up and then this gift dropped in my lap. So anyway, but then I transitioned into straight plays and at the Public Theater, and I started to do a little bit of TV and film, and then I moved to LA to pursue that visual medium.
The dream, the Hollywood dream, right?
Man, I feel like I've been crazy lucky, I mean,
I could tell you, but you've done. I mean, better. You've done a lot of work, and you've stayed, successful in working. So our first question, and I apologize. My questions are going to have a very nice, theme to them, and the audience questions are a bit random. So your first question is, pizza with or without pineapples?
Oh my gosh! You know what? I'm gonna say with. I'm going to say that I just like to live a little wild sometimes. And I have a huge sweet tooth. So anytime anyone wants to put any sugar on anything, I'm down with it.
All right. Now I'm a native New Yorker, and I think I've lost a little respect for you. So I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna recoup. I'm gonna gain my wits about me, and I tease. Okay. So back to logical questions. So with 200 plus credits to your resume, with I don't want to date you here, but like you got credits going all the way back to the 80s, let's say.
And yeah, like when you were introing me, I thought, damn, I'm old. You said 40 years, and I'm like, oh, that's true.
Yeah,
like you never really feel as old as you are, right? Like
I hope so.
Inside, I feel like I'm, still.
And you stay young with, I think, the characters that you play. It kind of keeps you young. It keeps you in that mindset. And it's also, I think, it's your personality. I love your personality. So now, okay. So with all that said, 40 years in the business, 200 plus roles under your belt. At this point, are you sick of talking about Julie and Friends? I gotta imagine so.
I don't think I want to use the word sick of it, because I'm always really touched when people come up and especially Asian people who say that's like one of the first times I've ever seen myself on screen.
Wow, yeah.
That goes a long way with me because it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something, like I'm actually contributing to society. Because I don't know what else I would do if I wasn't, in the creative arts. I just have no aptitude for anything else. Like I break the Asian stereotype of being good at math and science, and I suck at that stuff. So I feel like, thank God there's a place for me.
Yeah, there's a playground for you. All right. So from Steve in the chats, how was it working with Billy Bob Thornton on Goliath? He says, "I love you in it."
Oh, thank you so much. That's been one of my favorite jobs. And just to let you in on a little, little fun fact, Billy and I improv'd all of that dialogue together.
Wow.
And so what we did is they called us this. I'm talking specifically about my first episode where Billy Bob and I are escaping, and we're in Mexico and we've been kidnapped. And that's all you really need to know, is that we're trying to escape. So it's season 2, episode 7 is when I first come in. And Billy had all of the actors that were in that house, like, so the kidnappers and the kidnappees. We came to rehearsal for a week, and we just kind of like played around with the basic premise of what was going to happen. And then we tried to work out all of the choreography, because there's knives and there's blood but it was just so much fun. It reminded me of my theater days. And Billy Bob is, well, everyone knows he's just so deeply talented. And I felt like I just learned from being with him and acting with him. Like I felt like he's so present, and he gives you everything. So you don't really need to do anything other than look over there in his eyes. And then I'm just getting my performance off of him, and vice versa. And it was really, truly one of my favorite jobs.
Wow. I had no idea. That's incredible. Thank you for the background. It's not the first time you work with Billy, right? Because you did Bad Santa as well. Yeah. And I'm sure that was a fun ride to be on.
That was a completely different role. I don't know what. So he told me that he wrote, he wrote Goliath with me in mind. And I was thinking, how would he know that I could do this ditzy, crazy character from having worked with me on Bad Santa, where I'm playing this, this really materialistic, kind of narcissistic woman with a thick Chinese accent, who, by the way, I based on my grandma. That was me paying tribute to her, because she just was so hilarious, and that's how she spoke. But anyway, I'm glad that he was able to make that leap, that I could do a character that was so opposite.
That's awesome. Okay, so back to some questions. So you're not sick of talking about Julie from Friends. I'm sure. Do you think, is that what you're most recognized for? Because I mean, you have so many credits. Is that the thing that people typically, associate you with?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say yes. Like, just when I'm out on the street and things like that. And it also gave my kids a little street cred when they started their new schools. But what always struck me as funny is that I've trained for decades, right, in acting, and like studied the classics as well, and put like a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this craft. And yet people really want to just know, what was it like to kiss David Schwimmer? It all sort of boils down to that question. And I'm like, it was fine. It was great. Like, he's a sweetheart. He's a good kisser. But I'm like, really?
Yeah. I've gotten to talk to a lot of actors, and I mean directors, and all types of people, but I find it fascinating that we as the audience, and I think I talked about this last week with my guest, that first thing is that we have this relationship with you, that it's a very one-way relationship, right? I feel like I know you because I watched you. Yeah. And obviously you don't know me, obviously. And so
I do now.
Well, now this is different. But then once we have this one-way relationship, and then we know you from this thing, it becomes like, I don't want to say like an obsession, but it becomes this thing that you're attached to. And I can imagine, as an actor, that is hard, because I'm sure the whole fun of being an actor is you get to play these different characters. You get to play all these different roles, and highs and lows, and goods and bads, and then, but to be constantly like brought back to that one thing, and maybe it's not the thing that you're most proud of. Maybe it's not the thing that you were, most excited about, or that it's whatever connected with the audience. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that you connected, right, one way or another. But I can
No,
imagine
you're
that's a
right. You're
frustrating
right,
thing.
CQ. Yeah. I mean, in a way, I guess it's a blessing that, I wasn't like the Fonz in Happy Days, or it wasn't like so huge where it was completely indelible.
Right.
For me, it's at the level where it's just kind of nice when people acknowledge, and it probably happens maybe 3 times a week. But I used to date Michael McKean, who was, Lenny and Squiggy. I'm going way back, but people remember him so much from that show that literally every single day, multiple times a day, people would yell out, "Hey, Lenny," and that was annoying. I mean, and I would think that would be really hard if it was on that next level.
Right.
For me, I'm lucky where it's just kind of like a nice little pat on the shoulder.
You're memorable enough without being to the, because I was just saying this, talking to somebody about this, and I'm like, if you're a Robin Williams or a Jim Carrey who like have these iconic catchphrases, and then it's just like people
Right.
just running up to you and like yelling in your face this
I know.
this imagine that one line from Friends that people just whatever it is, and like
Right.
just yell at your
Yeah.
face.
No, you're right. You're right.
Hey,
That would be kind of hard, I think. I mean, it comes with the territory. I mean, there's perks about being famous too, but like I feel like I started out as such a shy person, and I've come a long way since then. But ultimately, I'm still an introvert, you know. So I think that would feel too intrusive for me, my daily life, if
Sure.
if it were bigger than it is.
Yeah.
It's really manageable. It's kind of lovely.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. And I
Yeah,
mean, to
yeah.
have, at this point, Friends has been off the air for, my God, it feels like what, 15, 20 years, something like that. I mean, they just did the reunion, obviously, and I know there's a lot of whatever about who got invited to the reunion and who didn't, but I mean, it is what it is. It's about the main guys. That's all it's about, the supporting cast and whatnot. But aside from that, because I know I read you wrote this great essay, kind of on your
God,
experience.
did you do your research?
I-
Jeez, honestly, I've never had an interviewer who dove so deep into it. I mean, like, you know everything about me, like as much as my mom. It's
Yeah.
almost like so amazing.
I'm a fan, and I feel like it's my job to do the best I can to make you shine as you should. But yeah, you wrote this incredible essay, and it was because it's the kind of thing that you wrote, the kind of thing that a person like me wants to read, and that it's like,
Oh, good.
oh my God, I can't believe I'm in this moment, and like this is what I wanted to do, and you talk about how you kind of wished it into existence, which is incredible. And then
Crazy.
you come off in this, because it's a story. I mean, it's an essay, it's an experience that you share, but you come off as this person like, I can't believe I'm here and I'm doing this thing, even though it's your job.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I'm still like that.
I
I mean,
oh man,
yeah.
there's so much, because and I really, people, if you should look for it and find it. It's a great read, and it gives such a, you are so honest. Let me just say something. You are so honest in that essay, not just about yourself, but to something that could be, I don't know, seen as it's not gossipy. It's not gossipy. That's not the word I'm looking for. But it's a real honest portrayal of like, I was with these people. I saw how they interacted. I saw the things they did, and how you were us in that moment of going like, why are you doing this, or why are you saying, how are you treating
Oh
him?
my gosh, I made so many mistakes. I was so nervous. And when I get that nervous, I say the stupidest things. And it's almost like I can't help it. It's like, oh, can I get those words back? I did not mean that. It's
Yeah.
almost like I lose all my brain cells because I'm too nervous. I have to just like calm down and breathe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and again, I love it. I love it so much because it's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm like, that would be me. And that's why I think you connect so well with the audience, because it's like, yeah, that's how I would act. I'd be like, I'd try, calm down, relax, be cool, sound interesting, like say thing,
I mean, I don't even know why that happens to me all the time in my real life too. Like recently I was nervous with this guy I was meeting, and he said his birthday was on October 31st, and I said, "Oh, Halloween? Oh, does it fall on Halloween every year?" Just kill me now. Like, what is wrong with me?
That is awesome. This is what you need. You need a show. You need a show. You gotta do a show. This is great stuff. Now something I took away from that is you talked about that you would get booed at the live tapings.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that as an experience? Is like you're just this. I'm an actor. I'm doing my thing, and you get like people took it like to heart. They took it serious. This is you're a physical manifestation of everything they hate. Like, what does that feel like when you're just trying to do your job?
I'm not gonna lie, it hurt because the audience was so invested in Rachel and Ross getting together that they could not. And that was the joke, right? That no matter how nice I was, that everyone would see me as a bitch because I was the other woman, right? So it had nothing to do with like who Julie was,
right?
You know,
she was the best.
I was just determined to hate her.
She was the sweetest thing, man. Like it is. You know what? You were too good for that group. That's what I think. Those are horrible people.
You know, I'm gonna share something too that really was so hard for me as well in that time because I was contracted to do 7 episodes from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they offered me the role because of the director had seen me in Joylet Club and she thought, oh, that girl looks like she could portray someone really nice. You know, they just wanted someone who seemed like a nice person. So anyway, I always knew that it would have a beginning, middle, and end, and I was going to have to be shoved off the show after those 7 episodes. But it's still, when it happened, it still felt like I was being kicked out of the, family. And what happened is, I think it was the National Enquirer, but I cannot find it anymore. Thank God. There was a front page article that said Friends actress fired because she was a bitch. And I'm like, no. That was the storyline. That was the storyline of the series. And it went on to say that, that Jennifer thought that I was like such a uppity diva actress. And I'm like, no, you guys, it was never planned out that way. And I remember calling my agent saying, should I get a lawyer? And he was like, no, like a picture's worth 1,000 words, just let it be because you're not going to really, be able to correct that anyway. So, but can you imagine?
That's horrible. That's horrible. So the last question I have in the Friends category is, I know that you were given a pair of sneakers with the words "Friends second season" embroidered on them, and I'm curious. You had the access. Was there anything else you might have snagged off set? Yeah, maybe something that you took with you, a memento, a memory of that time.
Wait, CJ, you're freaking me out right now. Did I write that in the essay?
I might have found.
How did you know that? I just didn't even remember that until you just said it right now.
So I guess you don't still have them then, huh?
No, I kept them for a long time though. I kept them for at least 10 years and I wore them all the time and they got filthy dirty and they just fell apart and I finally had to throw them out.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Did I take anything else? No, I did not, but I'll tell you a fun little story from Bad Santa.
Please.
That movie took place in an abandoned department store, right? So in Torrance. And so it was, defunct. And so it was completely empty. And so the props and set dressing filled that entire space with tons and tons of merchandise. Okay. And it was just, we were filming right around Christmas, like a month before Christmas. And so I said to the director, Terry Zwigoff, I said, you know what? It's really fun to be here surrounded with all this stuff, but it's so hard for me because I actually loved shot. And he goes, you know what? He goes, come here. And I said, what? He goes, take whatever you want. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? And he goes, just take it from behind so nobody can tell. But literally, take whatever you want. No one's going to care or notice. And so I went a little berserk. And I was like taking orders from all the other cast members. Like Tony Cox, who played my boyfriend, the little person, he wanted a bicycle. And so there I am. I took a bike and I'm like going down the escalator with it, and I put it into the trunk of his car. Like I had the producer telling me what shoes he wanted in what size, and I was like very sneakily going around and just like pilfering everything. It's like I was my character in that movie.
Wow. That's
So talk
awesome.
about swag. I mean, all of my family and friends got like the best presents that Christmas. I was taking everything. It was crazy,
Wow.
but nobody noticed.
That's awesome. I mean, there you go. One of the perks, guys. If you get into the acting craft, maybe you can steal things from set. Nobody will notice. So we got a question from Mike in the audience. He says, in Lauren's opinion, having done both voice acting and live action acting, what is harder, and what are some things that make each one harder than the other?
Oh, what a great question. It's Mike, right?
Mike.
So I guess there's not much that's hard about voice acting. I have to say, the hardest thing about it is that you have to funnel all of your emotions and everything you want to communicate just through your voice. So when I'm actually recording, I will use my body fully. And like if anybody wants to like dabble with, think about like maybe becoming a voice actor, that's my advice, to act it out fully as if you're on camera, because your performance is going to be a lot fuller that way. And my friend D. Bradley Baker, Maria will know this because he's in Kids Next Door. He is one of the greatest human beings, and he created a website called I Wanna Be a Voice Actor, IWANNA, like that. And honestly, anything you could possibly want to know about how to get into the business, what to do, it's like an encyclopedia. It's so extensive. So just go on there and take a look at that. And but honestly, voice acting is it literally will take me like 15 minutes to do a job sometimes because they can't get the whole cast together. Futurama always took forever because there's so many almost like stand-up comedians that they were be like improving and just goofing around and like we did it more like a radio play, so we were all together. And I'm not complaining because I was laughing so hard the whole time, but it took us 4 hours because it was just trying to get through, because they also liked us to improv a little bit too, just to see if they we could make things a little bit funnier. And so I'd have to say that on-screen acting is way more challenging in that the parts that I've had to play have been a lot deeper, and then you have to worry about what you look like, and showing up visually, because it's 95% visual, and film and TV. And so the beauty of voice acting is that I've played a 5-year-old black boy, I've played like a 90-year-old Jewish woman. Like the stereotyping is kind of just blown out of the water, which is so refreshing. Although I have to say nowadays that's coming back a little, swinging back, in the sense that they really want you to be who you are and not take jobs away from other people. And I get that. I get both sides of it, really, because people of color, like my good friend Phil Lamar, who was Samurai Jack, is not Japanese, obviously, but he's a person of color. And so there is no way you're going to ever get me to diss him for taking that job. Like if all things were equal and people of color had as many opportunities as the Caucasian community, then I could see that more, like, but I kind of feel like if I'm Chinese and I'm playing a Laotian character, I'll try to do as much, research as I can, but I think it can be too politically correct. Sure. Okay. In that sense, like, let actors act. On the other hand, if I were producing something and I was casting, I would probably want someone to be as authentic to the character as possible. So I really do see both sides of it. Yeah. I just think actors should be able to act,
Yeah, there's I've done some stand-up comedy, and there's a lot of concern about, well, cancel culture, and if we don't allow people to express, within certain, let's not get too crazy, but within certain boundaries, I should be able to say a joke and understanding that as a comedian, it's a joke. It's not to be taken seriously. And I agree with you wholeheartedly in that seeing the line because, you know, when you're voicing a character, and as long as you're not, in my opinion, if you're not mocking or you're not doing stereotypical and you're trying to bring authenticity to the character, it shouldn't matter who you are. When it becomes the visual medium and you say, not knocking anybody, but let's say there was, a lot of heat on Scarlett Johansson when she did, what was it, Ghost in the Shell, and it was a very whitewashed version of a character that was, I mean, for all intents and purposes, a very, very Japanese, Asian. Like it's not a good look. So yeah, I agree with you. There's not it's not an easy answer for it, and I do feel for especially people in the voice acting community because like you said, like maybe I'm not known for all these characters, I'm not instantly recognizable, but if you've made a career of that and doing the best you can, and these, I think of Apu from The Simpsons.
Right.
Who is a beloved character, but then it's like it's a white guy doing the voice, and now it becomes this outcry for how dare you. And it's like I don't know. It's not an easy. There's no easy answer for this.
There is no easy answer. I felt like I understood why he stepped down, and it's like different times too. When he first started doing that job, our culture was much different. I didn't really think he needed to apologize.
Right.
But I understood why he stepped down.
Sure. Yeah. And you want to do the right thing. And, I'm sure there's other opportunities and it opens up opportunities for other people. And that's awesome. I'm all about inclusivity and making sure everyone has a seat at the table. I think is a great thing. And yeah, we learn and we grow, right? That's as a country, that's the idea is it shouldn't be about canceling people. It should be about learning and realizing and growing. And
boy,
being
I
better.
would sure love it if people, folks on social media would just dial it down a few notches. It's kind of like, as someone in the public eye, like I feel like it, sometimes I feel like I can't win if you have to just stand where you are and what you believe in. But like to cancel someone because they don't agree with you, I just wish we could all be a little less judgmental.
Yeah.
And,
Agreed.
But
agreed. So moving on to other things. I'm curious. So you've played many let's call them one-off characters. They make a cameo, guest appearance, and you've played a lot of established. Besides just Julie on Friends. Where you're main character, main cast, whatever you want to call it. When you hear the term character actor, like what does that mean to you?
Oh, that always means that those are the working actors who usually get the really interesting parts. Because I've never been associated with the ingenue, because I just was so, just being a person of color and then being so tiny, like that wasn't my path. But I think that because that forced me more into being a character actor, I feel like that's why I work so much. And I also am not going to have as big of a transition into letting go of beauty or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't, it's hard to get older, and watch yourself on age on camera. It's like, wow, is that me? I couldn't, oh my God, it's really difficult. And, but at the same time, I feel like what's the alternative, like, I'm working and I can keep going and I actually embraced that I was able to be, a character actor. I always find that they usually have so much going on. They're quirkier, they're darker, they're funny. So, because sometimes I think the romantic leads can be a little bit boring. I'd rather have like a stronger color and be a spice rather than just be a little bit more bland, but be in it.
Because I think traditionally, and you're the actor, so you tell me, but traditionally, a character who is he's a main character, he's one of the main cast, in a season, they'll have something of a slight character arc. But as someone who's going to appear once or twice, like to make an impression, like you really have to have that major, all that condensed into a couple scenes. You have to go. I think of like a show like House MD, where the cast changed very little from, but that one guy comes in, my appendix is exploding, and he's dying, and he's gotta do all these crazy things, and then at the end he's like, all right, cool, I'm great, and just walk out and do your thing. So that's a lot of acting, like a spectrum
And
of
those
acting.
are the people you remember.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
They're memorable.
So
Yeah.
I totally get it. I totally get it, and I think you know, if I were to ever be an actor, I like that's what I think I would like to be, because everybody thinks, oh, I'd love to have that, be the main guy and make all the millions of dollars and this and that, but so many of these guys do get typecast too. You look at the guys from Friends, and a lot of them are hard to break out of those roles because they're so instantly recognizable, and so we're so attached to them in that role. So
Well, that was such a massive show too.
yeah. So I definitely think that you get to play the more fun characters. I think that's just so cool with it.
And I also think there's a longer shelf life too, because I can be in my 80s, still be a character actor, but I certainly couldn't be, even in my 50s, I couldn't be the ingenue anymore.
Yeah.
40s, not so much.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood's really into youth and beauty.
I mean,
So-
yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, you get those few, your Meryl Streeps and your, the people
Right.
that can
Right.
bring it. I mean, my God, what's it? Clint Eastwood. My God, he's 189, I think, and he's still coming. Like, they reanimate him for movies. I don't know how he does it, but he's getting it
Yeah, that's
done.
a little creepy when they do that. Like that guy in Star Wars, that guy Peter.
Oh yeah,
That was a
and
little creepy,
the
right?
CGI
But it
stuff.
was
Yeah,
kind of amazing.
yeah, bringing people back from the dead. That's that's a little uncomfortable.
I don't even know if they're gonna need actors anymore one day. Honestly, they can duplicate our voices, everything. So I just I feel like at least I'm born in the right time.
What is it? Like, the workers always say, like, oh, robots are going to replace us. And the actors are, CGI is going to replace us. Everybody's being replaced by robots and computers.
That's right.
So okay. So you've done the acting stuff. You've done the theater stuff, the chorus line stuff. And now, kind of coming off Friends, you do this role, like your first voice acting role is with Superman, the cartoon Superman, which is classic. Everybody loves it. You played Angela Chen, which
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Wait, was that before King of the Hill?
That was
I thought King
before.
of the Hill was my first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know more than me.
Based on IMDb, it says your first
okay.
animated series,
I
Superman,
know
the animated
more.
series, Angela Chen. So I was curious, how did that come about? How did the shift from exclusively in front of the camera
you know
to
what?
the voice stuff?
You're jogging my memory. That is correct, CQ. Because Andrea Romano, who is like one of the greatest voice directors on the planet, she loved me in Friends. So that's why they called my agent to be Batman's girlfriend in that show. Because, she was supposed to be Asian and girlfriend. So maybe they were just thinking along the same lines. And boy, did they drew me really cute too.
Yeah, you're talking
So
about
I actually-
Dana in Batman
Dana.
Beyond. Yep.
Oh no! You're talking about, okay. So it wasn't Dana; it was Angela. Was it Angela Chen?
Angela Chen,
Well, she was a reporter,
news
right?
reporter in Superman the series. That's right. I know it's
Oh, I'm
for those
sorry,
at
I'm thinking of
home.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah, this has
Good
nothing to do
thinking.
with age. This has to do with the fact that she's voiced like 600 characters, and it just has such an
I got
extensive career.
confused.
So yeah, so
Anyway,
because you've done
Yeah.
Superman, you've done Batman. I mean, you've done so many characters.
right.
So it was just, I guess, the coming out of the Friends, they loved your voice, and so they reached
Yeah.
out to you with the opportunity, and you thought, what the hell, make a
Yeah,
paycheck?
let me try it. Yeah, I had no idea how to do it, and I learned on the job. I learned from some of the greats. I learned so much from Pamela Adlon, who was playing Bobby in King of the Hill.
Mhm.
I would just watch her and create all these voices right in front of us. And because Bobby is a 12-year-old boy, and here she is, this woman, and so yeah, that I just feel so grateful that I fell into the voice acting, because on one hand, like I sometimes would get nervous that maybe I put too much focus on it, and perhaps I could have gotten a little further in my on-camera career if I hadn't put all my eggs in that basket. But at the same time, like I raised two boys, like I all through, you know what I mean? Like I was literally, I've told this story before, but I was like working up to the time my water broke, like I was working when I was breastfeeding. Like I had the baby in my arms and I was saying the lines. So there isn't a lot that keeps you from being able to record.
Yeah.
And you can look however you want. You can go, in your sweatpants and like one time I was joking that it takes so little time sometimes. Like if you've only got one or two lines in the whole episode, you're in and out of there in 5 minutes. So then I started to figure out, like, how much did I just make per word? Because I only said one sentence,
Hey.
So
you're paid to be there, regardless of how much you got to talk.
That's right. That's right. And so anyway, I feel blessed in that way. But there's always good and bad with just like anything in life. I mean, it got me through those real sparse times, when we remember in 2007 when we had the writer's strike and all of that and everything was shut down. I was just that little train that kept chugging along with my voice acting jobs. But then, sometimes I feel like, oh dear, like that I'm introduced see, you're different because you have really researched like the body of my work. But there have been times when I've been only, like called just a voiceover actress, and folks don't really know that I've done other things, and that's kind of like, that's not so great, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's also being recognized as just Julie instead of the massive body of work that you've done, both voice and other. And you've done video games, you've done character. I mean, like I just can't wrap my head around. And I'm sure you're gonna say it's just luck, but you're involved in these projects that have incredible shelf lives. King of the Hill ran forever. And by the way, side note, I heard that they're maybe talking about bringing it back. I mean, anything? Have you heard anything? You maybe.
They've been trying for years, CQ. I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think so?
No. I wish.
With everything being rebooted and resequeled and followed up on.
I think it'd be smart. I think it'd be a great idea.
I'd love it.
I think I would have heard.
Okay.
Anyway, I would probably have to lie to you anyway, though, because I'm not, you're not really allowed to talk about that until it's publicly announced.
Of course.
But I think I can safely say that one's not happening. But there are other things that are happening that I can't talk about.
Yes. Hey, as long
we'll just leave that there.
Yeah, as long as there's things that you can't talk about, I'm happy. Other people might like that. To me, I'm a Marvel fan. I'm all these things. Like I know when you say I can't talk about something, that just means awesome things are happening. Awesome things are happening, and I'm excited and I'm happy.
I know there's a fan base that's going to be excited for one of the things. Yeah,
get me excited again. So I was saying, you're part of these massive franchises. King of the Hill. I mean, Batman. You put Batman's name on anything, it's massive success. Futurama, which ran for so long, then went away, then came back, then went away, then came back for so long, and and then obviously the Teen Titans and the Teen Titans Go, and like all these just massive, like, do you ever just sit down and think about like you are a part of pop culture significance, kind of no matter which way you look, like that's, I don't know, some people are blessed in a lifetime to get that one role. And the way I look at it is like you've been a part of these just massive in pop culture, and like people know King of the Hill, people know Futurama. These are not things that the late if I shoot some anime that like nobody really knows about, like these are mainstream popular things. I mean, what do you think like when you just sit back and kind of look back at your work and how it's going to be remembered forever.
You're just making me feel like $1,000, mister.
I'm doing my job, man.
Honestly.
I'm doing my job.
No, you are doing your job. I mean, I'm so glad that, look, I didn't know I was going to get so much more out of this than I was going to end up giving. I mean, super, very, very, very sweet of you to say all that, because I'm not really aware of it. And you know, I get blue just like everyone does, and like it's hard to focus on and look back and go, hey, you know what, I've done some stuff, and until you know you hear it from someone like you. But I just go back to, again, like just feeling like you're making me feel like I have contributed something.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, I was brought up, you know, that I was supposed to. Well, I came from such a traditional Asian family that my job was, I was supposed to just be a dental hygienist and get married and have lots of boys, you know, and I'm so grateful to my mom for supporting me into going into being an artist. And I would really encourage anyone that's Asian out there listening that happens to be a parent to let your kids try, because you know, like what if they don't have any aptitude in those other areas, you know? And I never wanted to be a dental hygienist, and I actually didn't think I wanted to have kids either. And then when I got closer to that biological clock ticking, I thought, oh, maybe I do. And then as it turns out, I actually did end up having two sons. So my dad would have been really happy about that.
Right.
But that was kind of like out of my control. But anyway, I just feel like yeah, I've been super blessed, I feel like, with just I mean, just like everyone, I've had lots of challenges and sadness, and I feel like all we can do is just remember that we belong to each other, and to try as our best to just be there for one another when we can, because that's all I want to be remembered for, and I'm sure that most people feel the same. When you really boil everything down to like looking back on your life, you know, like my older son was asking me about that, like, Mom, do you think I should try to go in the private sector and be a lawyer and like try to make a lot of money, or I should go in the public sector and try to just change policy and help people more? And I said, oh, that's an easy answer from my point of view. I said, you're always going to find a lot more happiness when you feel like you've made a difference in someone's life. Not that you couldn't if you were like in the private sector, and because lawyers who are doing that are still helping people. Yeah. It's just that, you know, when you find a cause that you really believe in, just get behind that and push, you know, and you'll see how much the universe like rushes in to help you. Like, yeah. I can't even describe how generous and kind the fan bases are that I have from some of my shows that have helped me raise $10,000 pretty much every year for the past decade for Homeboy. So it's like, that's all from the fans. You know, like, yeah. Supernatural is just got the most gigantic fandom on the planet, and Futurama, and I'm finding also Ghost of Tsushima, super kind-hearted cast that I got to work with, and they've all helped me, you know, sign things, and we're selling things, and it's so much fun. Absolutely. Ghost of Tsushima was a real gift to me too. That was like a, you know, I feel like it kind of keeps me young with the like current with the younger.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Too. You're on the pulse. You're on the, because okay, so we named all those shows that, okay, you say, well, they're not really around anymore, but you just did 2 episodes of Rick and Morty. Right? You were the little anime character in Rick and Morty, which is the hottest cartoon out there right now. You know, you did Ghost of Tsushima. I cannot pronounce that name. I'm terrible at that. That is a hard one, man. They could have made it a little bit. We're gonna call it Ghost. You were in Ghost, which was, I mean, a like crazy big blockbuster that sold ridiculous amounts. So I mean, as much amazing things you've done in the past, you absolutely are still. You know, it's not like you're not. Like, I always feel like we talk so much about your career that like, oh, you're not like, it's not like a has. You know, this isn't. Oh, this was your life, and it's like you're still doing incredible things. And like you said, there's things we can't talk about that are coming. You know,
I'm trying.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, and you mentioned your kids, so I am curious. Like, growing up, like, were they aware of like where you were in pop culture and like and how other people were viewing you and like how popular you are with other people? And they know that?
I mean, a little bit, yeah, they did, and it sort of like had its good side and its bad side because it, like they felt like they felt proud of me, at school when kids would find out, and it always happened really quickly too, which is surprising to me. But the downside is that they just didn't want to be like they want to be finding out who they are and like gaining their own merits based on who they are, you know.
Hmm.
And so they've been kind of like real aware of keeping that separate. Like, for example, like are you talking to me right now just because my mom was on Friends, or are you really interested in like having a conversation with me?
Yeah.
So that actually was a conversation I just had with them last year or two, because I've never asked them that, but they're older now, so we can have conversations like that. Because I was just wondering, it never really occurred to me, because honestly, CQ, I never think of myself as someone that's even in the public eye.
Right.
I just think of myself as this girl from Highland Park, Illinois, who's still that shy girl that can't, that can't string a sentence together sometimes. So it's always a little bit like startling for me to hear that people see me in a different light.
Yeah, of course. I bet. Yeah. I was gonna make it about me, but then I'm like, wait a minute, it's not about me.
You can make it about you.
No, people are tired of hearing me talk about me. Steve in the chat says that Sweet Pecan Summer was a very neat movie. I watched it when I saw you were in it. Your chemistry with Christine Coe was great. Are more Hallmark movies in the realm of possibility? Is this something that we might see more of?
Oh, thank you so much. His name is Steve. Thank you so much for your supportive comments. I had so much fun shooting that. And if I have any say in it, I'd love to work for Hallmark again. It was a wonderful experience, and I'm feeling optimistic because one of the network executives wrote, welcome to the Hallmark family. So that's a good sign.
Definitely a good sign.
And then our director texted me, Christine, and Wes Brown that that Pecan movie was the highest rated summer movie in the history of Hallmark. So, you know what was so great about that? It's also the first movie that's ever starred people of color.
Wow.
So, I mean, that to me hopefully will show Hallmark that they're definitely heading in the right direction. That people want things to be more inclusive and to be able to see themselves on screen. Like, let's have I just went to the Star Trek 55th anniversary, and I was blown away by just sitting and watching the panels of all these characters now that are, wow, was that franchise ever being inclusive with transgender characters and gay characters kissing on screen and like all kinds of every color you can think of. I mean, so smart on their part.
Yeah, the original Star Trek had the first interracial kiss ever filmed on TV, and so
that's right. So they've always been like that.
They've been pushing boundaries for a long, long time, and I think that's what sci-fi is really good at, because you get to hold up a mirror to the world, the community, but have this kind of almost this blanket of like, but it's not real, it's fake. But I look at like the X-Men in comic books, where it was the writer's way of saying, these outcasts, these people that that LGBTQ community that's being infringed upon, or the emotion of being a minority. It was like it was a reflection of the world at that time, and so we can use sci-fi, we can use superheroes to tackle these really tough subjects without it being too real, and because people won't accept it if it's too real.
True. But also, it's life is weird. I mean, you know what I mean?
That is true too.
There's some things in real life that seem way stranger.
Yeah, that did. And we're coming up time, and I do want to be very respectful of your time. And there's so much more we could have talked about, because I know you did a one-woman show called 25 Psychics, which was it premiered at the HBO US Comedy Arts Festival in Aspen and received the Drama Log Award for Best Performance, Best Direction. So I just wanted to, no question, I just want people to know that I think it's outstanding that you did that. A one-woman show and how well it was received. So I'm sure that was an incredible experience for you.
It was. It was really, really something to. It was cathartic, actually.
I can
Yeah.
imagine. So lastly, as we wrap up here, what one more plug to guys, check out the link that's in the chats to support Homeboy Industries. You know, like I said one last time, I will send out a gift to the highest donation of the night. Send me proof that then I can send you guys a prize. I know I'm gonna contribute because I want an awesome autograph thing that I can put in my
Thank you so much.
my collection.
And no donations too small. If you want to give $5, like that is also welcome.
Absolutely.
Because it's wonderful to feel part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
So,
is there anything coming up that you would like to promote or like to make sure people check out?
oh gosh, you know what? The things that I have coming out, I can't talk about any of them. Oh wait, I can talk about one of them. Season 4 of Young Justice is coming out.
I love Young Justice.
Do you remember that show?
I
Yeah.
love Young Justice. It's an incredible
Okay.
show.
Yeah, I play a character called 13, and I'm forgetting the date now. Darn it! It's either in October or November. I can't remember, but it's
You have too many projects. It's hard to keep them all straight. Let me tell you.
But I have some fun things coming up that I'll be able to like post about on social media
Outstanding.
in just a couple months.
And with that, where can
Thank
people
you.
follow you? Where can people follow you? Where can they support you
Oh.
and keep up to date?
Thank you. I'm on Lauren Tom 9000 on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same. I'm not really on Facebook. Uh-oh. That was weird. What just happened?
Yeah, I still got you. You're good. You're good on
Okay,
our end.
okay, good.
But there
Okay,
you go, guys. Make sure you follow Lauren Tom 9000 on all the social medias that matter. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here tonight. This was so much fun. Like I said, we could have talked for hours. I think you're an incredible
I
woman
know.
and such an incredible career and the things. And as a kid who grew up in the 90s and watched a lot of these shows, thank you for voicing some of my favorite
Thank
characters.
you.
You know, everybody in the chats loves you so much and thanks you. I'll give you a second here to say goodbye to the audience and then we'll toss it to break.
Oh, okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support, and I wish you all well. Stay healthy and hug someone that you love.
Outstanding. All right, guys, we're gonna go to a short break. I'm gonna go say goodbye to Lauren, and then we'll do a little bit more show after this. See you at the break.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Pop Culture Warrior episode, what are we on? 73, and at this point, a quarter, with a third left.
3/4, easy. 2/3, probably. Yeah.
Welcome back, the voice of the talented. Oh, Jesus. Wrong button. Mr. Radar.
Hey guys.
Hey, guys.
How you here?
How you doing? So that was Lauren.
God.
Thoughts?
Where do we find these people that have so much energy?
I love them. They're the best. They're the absolute best. Lauren was incredible. Incredible. Huge fan. Thank you guys for everybody for tuning in and watching and participating, and great questions from the audience tonight. Yeah, we're so lucky, man. We're so lucky to find these people. I love the fact that you can tell when someone is truly humble. You can just tell that. Like I sat there and I mean, really, I'm not saying this to blow smoke. Like, she's been a part of some of the biggest franchises of our generation, of multiple generations. You know, and while maybe Friends, she had a small bit role, although important to the context of that season. You know, things like Batman Beyond, she did 127 episodes, I think it was. You know,
wow.
King of the Hill, she was, you know, Connie and Ming were in a third of all the episodes.
Right.
You know, and she's voicing 2 characters for that series. You know, same with Teen Titans, and like, and to see her face when I mentioned it, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I did do those things. Like, it's like you don't realize the magnitude of geek cred that you have. Amy on Futurama, I think by math, I think she's been in every episode minus like 1 in Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what do you like? I'd have at least a bit of a peacock strut. You know what I mean? I'd have a little bit of like, yeah, I'm kind of hot shit. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just the most wonderful, humble, down to earth. She's not lying. When I reached out to her people, you know, obviously they, you know, you get the same answer, like, okay, we'll check if she's interested. Like, it was instant. Like, it was 20 minutes later, like, yeah, she's in. She wants to do it. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess we got to schedule it. But like, she was just like, yeah, I want to do it. Like, so and obviously I love those kind of people because it's great for us. But it's a joy. And we were chatting, and I know you were there. We were chatting, you know, during the break with her, and I just, oh man, I mean, some things we can't talk about, but it's just the fact that she's so willing to give of herself and to support and to be engaged, and honestly, she's, like she said, she wanted to stay longer. She has another commitment that she has to run to. Otherwise, she's like, she even said in the break, I know you were there, that like, wow, the time flew by. Like, that was so much fun. It flew by. We could have kept going if she didn't have to run to another commitment. But you know, she's a friend forever, and we're gonna stay tuned. We're gonna follow her. Anytime she does something big and some news comes out, I wanna plug all these, you know, awesome people that have been on our show, and we're very fortunate. Very, very fortunate.
We are, and we've had some really awesome people. That's really, I mean, it's so fun. It makes this job worth it in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, you actually do the talking. I just kind of hang out in the back. I'm like, oh, yeah, right, Arthur. But I mean, like, just to be surrounded by these people, and like I said, you really do get a feel for how awesome they are, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah. So. Big fan of the show. Big fan of the show.
I'm a big fan of our show.
Big fan of our show.
But I'm also a big fan of hers too. And like, I don't know, it's you do such a good job of like the interviewing process and the research and stuff, and so we do get a good chance to kind of see people's background and a little bit more of who they are with their things, and it's fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. And
I really hope that a lot of the takeaway for the interviews is, because obviously you want to learn about the people and let, you know, their work and let that stand for itself, but also understanding how people got to where they are, and sharing, like she said, you could do this if you are interested in doing voice acting. You can do this, you know, and here's how I did, and here's some resources, and so like when we get to talk to directors and producers and actors and comedians, and like, it's like, I love learning about how they got into it, how they get to where they are, because if somebody hears that, and for whatever reason, that's the motivation, that's the light bulb moment that goes, shit, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Then hey, we did something meaningful.
Maybe I should do voice acting, because I am no good at like regular acting.
I mean, you could do. You've got the setup as it is. Anybody that streams basically has a voice acting setup. You have a decent.
I feel
mic
like I should probably get a better mic and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I should also maybe get some talent.
A better voice would help, for sure.
A better voice would. I got the face for it already, but I got that little lisp going. Nobody wants a little lispy.
Yeah, hey,
little lispy guy.
It could be a lispy character. It could be a character with a lisp.
I would be good for the kind of mildly overweight, sometimes out of breath guy. That's me. You got it. Yep. If you want to.
I was gonna ask her. I was like, so what do you think? Do I have the voice? Could I be a voice actor? Is this what you want for me? I don't know why I went into Batman there.
It's not a very and not even like Batman, but like
kind of like lazy Batman.
No,
really?
What's the Batman?
From
the College Humor Batman.
That was when what's his name? Pete Holmes was doing Batman.
Yo.
Where is she? Where are the drugs?
I feel like that's the epitome of Batman, and that's who
Yeah.
DC should really strive to have in there.
Where are the drugs? So every time I hear that, it goes back to that skit. All right. I do have one more thing we can chat about real quick, and then we'll call it a night. But
Is it Tiger King?
actually, there is some Tiger King news.
Yeah.
There is. Okay, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but just for you, I will. Sad Tiger King news.
Oh no.
I don't know if you remember Eric Cowie from Tiger King. He was kind of like the surfer dude. He had like the long blonde hair.
Yeah. Yep.
He was found dead in New York City.
Oh no.
Yes, he was found dead in his, I think it was his apartment.
Psoriatic arthritis made
wow,
my
that's-
joints stiff.
No,
Sorry
sorry about that.
Stiff?
Made something stiff. According to TMZ, citing law enforcement sources, Cowie was found dead inside a New York City residence. While the NYPD did not confirm his identity, authorities did tell us that, upon arrival, they discovered a 52-year-old male unconscious in the bedroom of the location. EMS was on scene and pronounced the male deceased at the scene. His cause of death has not been confirmed. Probably will be later determined by a medical examiner. Now, that news broke. Shortly after that, you know who Jeff Lowe is.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I love Jeff Lowe.
Jeff Lowe said in a statement that Eric Cowie didn't have any family, meaning his body could go unclaimed at the medical examiner's office following his death. So Jeff told TMZ he does not want the body dumped in some mass grave just because he doesn't have a family. So Jeff plans to give Eric a proper send-off and will do so by claiming his remains. And we're told that Jeff and Lauren plan to pay to have Eric cremated once the autopsy is completed. Soon after, Jeff wants to have a memorial service at his zoo in Thackerville, Oklahoma.
No.
Yes, they're considering having the memorial service streamed on Facebook Live so friends and fans can take part of the proceedings. They plan to spread Eric's ashes with his favorite cat that died last year. The cat's name, the Liger's name, was Django, with a D. Yep. Eric remains have not been claimed as of last Saturday. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm happy for them.
Yeah. So
I'm not happy he's dead. I'm not happy. I'm happy they're gonna do something.
Yeah, they're gonna pay homage to the guy and try to give him a proper send off. So it said that obviously nothing. We don't know yet how he died, but that apparently investigators learned that he was using alcohol excessively, and a large bottle of vodka was found at the scene. He was only 53 years old.
Really, I thought he was older than that.
Yeah. Apparently, tiger living ages you a bit.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah. So there's your Tiger King news. I didn't do the thing. Your Tiger King news.
My Tiger King news. Did you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Remember Rodney King, the Rodney King beating?
Sure.
Do you?
I remember it. Yeah.
The dude who filmed that died of COVID.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he died of pneumonia caused from COVID.
COVID complications. Gotcha.
COVID complications. Yep.
Yeah.
So literally the only thing he's famous for is videotaping the cops beating up Rodney King. Then he died. End of story.
I mean,
Sorry.
gotta put it that
Who's
way.
a plumber?
Jesus.
George Holliday, the plumber who shot the video of Los Angeles police officers beating black motorist Rodney King in 1991, has died in a hospital in California due to complications from the COVID-19, a friend said. The video that Holliday captured symbolized police brutality and racial injustice and was an early example of the power of citizen journalism, where a bystander documented a momentous event that might otherwise have been overlooked.
Yeah.
So
I still remember. I was a youngin' at the time.
Yeah.
I remember it clearly though. It was
Yep.
Capture the Nation. All right.
And then there's riots. I miss the riots. We should have more riots. I feel like we should riot.
I don't think we should have more riots. I'm gonna go on a record and say I don't condone us having more riots. You can here at WTF Nation Radio, we do not condone
Hey,
the views.
Play the disclaimer from Cause.
The views and expressions.
Say what you want.
Yeah.
I don't feel like WTF Nation Radio actually wants riots, but Radar.
The views and expressions promoted by Radar are not in line with the views of WTF Nation Radio, Pop Culture Warrior, and CQ.
Yep.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, it's my opinion.
That's the voiceover work I should do. The views and viewer discretion is advised. Yeah, okay.
Everyone but me has like a radio voice to do that stuff. I'm just like, hey guys, how about we do these other cool things?
Hey guys, let's not do. Come on now, no bad stuff.
I sound like I should be in a fucking gutter somewhere. Hey guys, you guys are like, oh,
voice for cartoons. All right. With that being said, let me real quick. I'll tell you who we have coming up next week, and this is hot off the presses. Guys. I was going to take a break next week of not from the show, but I was like, you know what? We've been doing a lot of interviews, and it's awesome. I love it. But, you know, once in a while, it's cool to take a breather. And I came across somebody, and I was like, wow, you're awesome, and I think you'd be a cool guest. And then it was like, okay, let's do it next week. And it's like, all right, we're doing it next week. So next week on Pop Culture Warrior, we have an amazing guest, Michelle C. Smith. Now, Michelle C. Smith is fascinating, and I'm going to pull up her page here. She is a stunt woman. I mean, I hate doing the whole stunt woman. Like, she's a stunt man. Like the job. I feel like the job it's like fireman. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're female, you can be a fireman. Like, it's not.
She's a stunt person.
She's a stunt. She is a stunt. They are a stunt thing.
She's a stunter.
She's a stunter. Oh,
she's out
God.
stunting.
That's horrible.
Stunting.
So Michelle, she's a stunt woman. And you know, does the coordination. And oh God, if my mic would just if my mouse would work. Sorry, this stupid thing. She has done some really cool stuff. She's done stunt work for things like Supergirl, The Magicians, Titans, iZombie, Arrow, Van Helsing, The Man in the High Castle, Deadpool. And I mean, and on and on and on and on and on. Smallville, going all the way back to Smallville. She was doing stunt stuff for Smallville. So, like, super geek cred, right? I mean, stunt work is awesome in general. I think it's awesome. Like you get to be on fire for a living. Like, that's awesome. You jump out of windows. You do all the
on fire on accident.
Yeah. Usually, when you're on fire, it's not a good day at work. When she's on fire, awesome day at work. But
I did read that any machine is a smoke machine if you operate it wrong enough.
that is true. That is true. So she's got 32 credits to her name in stunt work, which is a lot. It's a lot for someone who's only been in the business for I think she started in like 2010, so about 10 years ish. She's done incredible stunt work. So. And she's got a pretty cool TikTok. If you follow her on TikTok, she does a bunch of cool stuff on there. It shows off a lot of badass stuff. So, we're going to talk to her next week. And it's going to be a lot of fun because I think we're going to have some really cool stuff to talk about. Mr. Radar, would you care to tell the folks at home what a typical week, which very soon, we'll be back to a typical week in WTF Nation Radio.
Yes. Well, you have been listening to CQ and Radar, our show, his show, let's be honest, Pop Culture Warrior. Every Tuesday night, we're here doing our show. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Danza Day, a day of no scheduled activities. We will have the night off, the entire station. So if you're going to be here, that's cool. Turn the lights off when you leave. We'll be gone. Thursday, generally, Soren's time. Ice and Spanky talking about big Sargent stuff. I saw on the thing earlier, Hey, where do we talk about the PFT or some shit? Hey, we didn't talk about that here. This CQ Radar Show. You want to talk about PFT stuff? You talk to Ice and Spanky. They will let you know about the sergeanting things. Big Army, National Guard, reserves, retirees, all that stuff. That's their gig. Friday Night Freedom. Cause, Pookie, the new Space Force uniforms. I don't know if you're talking about that. Made that up. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, they talk about all kinds of fun shit. Last week they had an awesome guest on. It was hilarious. Check them out. Good show. Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, y'all have it off. We have it off. What do you want from us? We're not guard. We don't do drill weekends or some shit. Take the weekend off. But come back on Monday, typically, is the Monday edition with Ice and Flash, or Ice and some co-host. We have not decided yet. Ice on vacation. He's working through some shit, taking some time for himself and for his family. So, a couple weeks he'll be back, bigger and better than ever. Until then, Monday nights off will be the Monday edition. Then, check it. Full circle, Tuesday night, CQ and Radar Pop Culture Warrior, right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Outstanding. A round of applause for Radar, man. We couldn't.
Like my vintage.
Yeah, man. You can't do this without you. I don't know what you say. Like, we can't do this without you. Yeah, no. Ice is gonna be back soon. Super excited for what the stuff he's got cooking. Y'all gonna want to check that out.
It's gonna be worth the wait. I really do. And you know more of the ins and outs than I do, but I really think it's gonna be worth the wait. And it's gonna be fun.
The fun of being the R&D guy is that I get to get the peek behind the curtain and look under the hood, so to speak. And yeah, some stuff he's got working is gonna be pretty dope. I'm excited. Yeah, I think with that, we've reached.
Before we go though,
yes.
I'm gonna throw a shameless plug out. On both chats, I've shared multiple times the help Laura and Tom raise money.
Yes.
Please go there. If you have $5, $10, $20, whatever, 500, whatever you can do to help, it's a good cause, man. Throw some money towards them, whatever. And same thing with us too. WTF Nation Radio, if you watch, or the U.S. Army WTF Moments main page, either one, we do fundraise from time to time to help people out. If you got a couple 5, 10 extra bucks, whatever, help somebody. You know what I mean? You want to do 3 things with money, right? You can save it, spend it, give it away. It doesn't hurt to give a little bit to help somebody else in a time of need.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a couple packs of smokes or something. You can give that up.
And let's be honest, we're all a bunch of degenerates here. And don't you think you could stand to earn some karma points? You know what I'm saying? Toss it to where it could help, even if it's just a couple bucks. Get some of them karma points back, because as I say, I will be donating some funds because I could use all the karma I can get.
And if you throw some cash, $50 or something, send us an email. You might have just hit the magic mark of being the most, and you'll get a package.
Yeah. Let us know. Let me know.
Let us know. Mm-hmm.
Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Pop Culture War. We're everywhere. Reach out. If you donate, let me know. I will.
And some people are like, well, I don't want money. I don't know where this money's going. You just heard from her where the money goes.
Yeah.
It's been vetted in your earballs.
It's a great organization. And I did a little research. Me and her talked about it prior to, and I started digging into it because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to support something. I'm not going to blatantly put it. It's legit. It's one of the biggest organizations doing that kind of work. They've been doing it over 30 years. It's legit. And like I said, I'll be donating. It's cool that you get some. She gives autographs and stuff, which is a nice thing. Yeah, it's always a nice thing. You get something for giving something.
Absolutely.
And like I said,
even if you don't, it's nice to give.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the homeless guy, because there's no homeless. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. But when you have something that's a worthwhile cause, even for some reason, if it's not this, if it's something in 6 months down the road, you're doing good for yourself, and you see, hey, we need some money to help get this kid a helmet or something. Cop up a couple bucks. It's nice. It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And cause is always worthwhile.
Yep, exactly.
All right, guys. With that, we've reached the end of another wonderful episode. It has been my pleasure geeking out with y'all tonight. So for my boy Radar here, CQ, all of us at WTF Nation Radio, Thanks for tuning in. Say goodbye, Radar.
Bye, Radar.
Shots.
You